All right, welcome everybody to an exclusive interview here with Scott Kirby. He's the co-president of Abacus Life, a prominent player in the financial services industry. We're going to delve into the services that Abacus Life provides and get into a little bit of Scott's perspectives on opportunities for you and your clients. But before we jump into the conversation, I wanted to explore the initiative that NAIFA Michigan has undertaken to enrich the knowledge and the expertise of its members in the industry. So, recognizing the importance of continuous learning and professional development, NAIFA Michigan has embarked on a collaborative journey with businesses to enhance the knowledge base of our members. This reflects NAIFA Michigan's commitment to supporting its members' growth and success in a rapidly evolving industry. So by forging these strategic partnerships with businesses like Abacus Life, NAIFA Michigan aims to provide its members with access to cutting-edge insights, industry best practices, and of course, networking opportunities. Moreover, these partnerships will facilitate a symbiotic relationship wherein businesses benefit from direct engagement with a diverse pool of industry professionals, our NAIFA Michigan members. So in essence, NAIFA Michigan's partnership initiative exemplifies a proactive approach to professional development, fostering a culture of continuous learning and collaboration that ultimately strengthens the collective expertise and capabilities of its members. So thank you all for joining us here for this interview, and thanks Scott Kirby for partnering with NAIFA Michigan. So I'm going to turn it over to Scott. He's with Abacus Life. He's as I mentioned, the co-president. So Scott, could you tell us a little bit about Abacus Life and the services that you provide?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, and hello to all the Michigan NAIFA members. I may have met some of you at your meeting last year in Grand Rapids, and look forward to having another in-person meeting sometime soon. Abacus Life is one of the oldest and largest life settlement companies in the industry. We help advisors and their clients recognize the true fair market value of their life insurance. In fact, since 2015, we've purchased over $5 billion of life insurance. We've given policy owners over $1.1 billion that would have been either canceled or surrendered back to the insurance company. We have 100 employees. We are located in Orlando, Florida. We're licensed in 49 states, and we can purchase policies as little as $100,000. And we offer both cash and retained death benefit options.
All right. So offering an opportunity maybe for clients that, they might have bought some life insurance a while ago for a purpose, and that purpose is no longer there anymore. Maybe they've retired, or they've sold an asset, or a liability has been paid. And instead of just canceling that insurance policy, and there's another option out there in the market, right?
Absolutely. In fact, we hosted a focus group meetings a couple years ago where we interviewed and met with both advisors and their clients. And we asked many of them different questions about why they have life insurance and the reasons why they purchased it. But we also asked them to name one of their largest assets. And what do you think their overall answer was, Scott?
I'm going to go with their house.
Yeah, their house, exactly. Well, most people don't realize that their life insurance policy really is property, and that property has value, and that property can be sold, it can be gifted, it can be surrendered or canceled. So just because of that, really our messaging is about letting people know that your policy has value. And if you're over the age of 70 and you're considering, surrendering or canceling a policy, don't do that. Talk to somebody and seek what the value of your policy might be in the secondary market.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. You wouldn't just walk away from your house when you're done living in
Yeah,
it, right? You sell it.
true.
Yeah.
You sell it.
Um, So there, there's some other players in the market, like the big one is Coventry or Magna. So what makes Abacus Life a little bit different than your competitors?
Yeah, we get asked that a lot. The first thing, Abacus is a publicly traded company, which I think says a lot. People want to know who the counterparty is that is going to potentially be owning my policy for 10, 15, 20 years. Being public means we are held to a much, higher standard when it comes to transparency and disclosures. We also make the process very easy to determine, how much your policy is worth. We even have on our website a policy value calculator where your advisors and their clients can go onto our site and actually get an instant quote by putting in 4 or 5 different parts of their personal and policy information. One of the things that we're probably most proud about is that every year we lead the industry in the percent paid for each policy. It's a number that we're very proud of, and it kind of reinforces our commitment to our customers. So we are, one of the larger firms. A lot of folks are now kind of seeing us on TV, or we're running some commercials. We're doing a lot of work with the NAIFA community. So as you mentioned, there's a number of firms out there. We're one of the largest, and one of the probably most, I'd say, largest firm in terms of how much we spend money each year.
All right, good. So I would say ease of doing business with you, right?
Yeah.
You're a publicly traded company, so there's more transparency in regards to what's going on in the background compared to some of your competitors. Why would clients, and maybe you can expand on, why clients would really consider this as an option versus just walking away from a policy?
Yeah. Good question. Every year, $200 billion of life insurance is either forfeited or canceled back to the insurance companies. The primary reason why clients explore this option is that they don't need their coverage anymore. So what do you do? And there's a lot of reasons why people have made decisions to cancel their policies. It could be, the rising insurance cost each year. Our cost of insurance goes up the older we get. It could be an exit strategy for term life insurance. And yes, we do buy life, we do buy term life. Another big trend that we've noticed is that, settlements are speaking to a growing concern regarding funding retirement or healthcare expenses. Often, a life settlement can help address these issues.
Right. Yeah, a little bit of cash in somebody's pocket to maybe move it more towards a different kind of insurance policy, like a long-term care insurance strategy of some sort, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. When you're talking to advisors that might be considering this, what are maybe some of I guess, what's the niche? Like if they're going to analyze their book of business and they were going to take this idea and run with it with a few people, what are they kind of looking for in regards to a clientele?
Sure. I would think, any client who calls the advisor and they've got concerns about the need for the insurance, can they afford the insurance? The term policy is about to lose the conversion privilege. Those are, I think, some kind of warning signs that advisors should be looking for. Certainly, your clients are interested, and we've been in business for 20 years, and the industry has been buying policies for almost 30 years. So there's, I think, a high interest for clients to learn about this option. And I think they need your help. I mean, you're their insurance professional. Many times you wrote the policy, you understand the policy better than they do. And it really, in the broad picture, does complement annual policy reviews, and it does satisfy, a number of current suitability and best practice standards. So I would say, if an advisor is meeting with their client on an annual basis, or as you're the advisor of record, you get grace notices or lapse notices. Those are, I think, times you want to reach out to your client and say, hey, how's the policy treating you? Do you still need it? What are your thoughts? Obviously you can surrender it, you can cancel it, but you can also maybe sell it. Let's go through a few steps to see if the policy has any value at all.
Yeah. So I would say it's certainly adds a level of professionalism, I guess, to the advisor of saying, hey, there's another option here, besides just walking away from this thing. All right, and why would advisors, besides the fact of maybe doing the right thing for the clients or providing another option, what are some other incentives to advisors to look to Abacus Life?
Good question. I think, your clients are interested in options regarding settlements, and then they need your help. In most cases, the policies that we purchase were written by the advisor that we're working with, and they know the product better than anyone does. So, when it comes down to helping the customer understand their options, whether it be surrendering a policy, maybe doing a paid up reduced, is there a life settlement option? The clients need the advisor's help. In addition to that, when a client sells their policy, now there's additional sources of revenue, both for the client to use and the advisor to manage, whether it be AUM, whether it be purchasing a long-term care policy or investing in an annuity. So, it really serves both parties, both the advisor and their client.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, just, as we were talking here, if a client maybe still has, maybe they have a term policy that's still convertible. They don't necessarily need the death benefit anymore. It'd be more of like a nice thing to have down the road, maybe a good way to pass on money to children, but they don't really need to. I guess you could say it might be more of a want, but they're kind of weighing those options. Would it make sense for Abacus Life to buy that term policy and then convert it for them, and Abacus now owns it?
Yeah, we can in some situations, but every term case that we buy, I say the majority of them, we want to buy them as a converted policy, and I'll tell you why. We want to make sure that the product that we're looking at today for a potential purchase, that same product type is available down the road. Some carriers may change the product types. So the way that the term policy will work is if you have a client who their term window is about to expire, we would ask the advisor to just send us a copy of the term conversion proposal. Nothing has to happen yet. We can certainly price the case as a converted policy. And then if we think the product works, then we can always then go out for underwriting, get life expectancies, and nothing needs to happen until we've actually done all of our underwriting and our pricing. At that point, we will then ask the client, now it's time to convert the policy. You'd submit the conversion paperwork, you would bind the coverage. We actually will help reimburse the conversion premium. We would have already been at a contract phase by now, so we're not losing any time during this process. Term conversions represent about 10% of our book, and it's really fantastic way to utilize our marketplace. It's found money for the client, it's found money for the advisor. The advisor gets to write another policy, and the client, most importantly, gets to find value in an asset that had no value at all, especially if they're going to cancel the term policy.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, from an advisor's perspective, it's, hey, we could convert this policy and then you don't have to pay the premiums, but
that's right.
We get to write another policy, and I guess there's a little bit more of an incentive there too to think about.
And the reality is that, but the reality is, probably 85% of all term coverage written on seniors over 65 never pay out.
Yeah.
Because you bought the policy thinking, okay, I have it just for 10 years. That's all I needed. Well, when that 10 years is up, what do? Most people are just hardwired to not go into the ART mode. They just cancel the policy. That's where we step in.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So what would be then, like, how would NAIFA Michigan members be able to work with you? What's the easiest way to get in touch with you? If they're thinking about a case, what's the best way to go about that?
Sure. They can always call me directly. Our website is abacuslife.com. On our website, you can utilize our the policy value calculator I mentioned earlier. If you have a potential case, the next steps would be to, send us an in-force illustration to age 105. We've got a medical questionnaire that looks like a part 2 to an insurance application, where we're able to identify certain profiles of the client, whether they're their age, gender, smoking, non-smoking, any kind of health or lifestyle history. And then we kind of back saw for life expectancy without pulling any medical records kind of in these earlier stages. So, if you've got a potential live one, I'd say give us a call and let's talk about the case. A lot of times we can determine if a case has any merit just in our early conversation. Example of, client is 65 years old and healthy, that's not going to qualify. But if they're into their 70s, they've got some medical impairments, those kind of cases we want to pay attention to. And then, certainly once we've done the pre-price, and then we can, go to a formal intake form and pull medical records and get live expectancies and do more of a deeper dive then.
Yeah. Okay, good. So it all starts with a conversation with Scott Kirby.
That's right. Every case that I buy, I would have had a pre-pricing conversation 90 days prior. That's where it all begins.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, thanks again, Scott, for your time and your partnership with NAIFA Michigan. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Scott.
Yep. Bye.